Thereafter, we invite His Holiness to bestow the precious Dharma teachings. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsung Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Mahajundi Buddha Mother, the great victorious Vajra. Simu, Tanzan Gatso, Tutan City, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma assistants, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? Aisteru. Sarangi. Hola, amigo. Te quiero mucho. Sukoin. Ichiban. Kimochi ii. Jumi. Yappy. Bling bling. Konbanwa. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? Today it's Jundi Buddha Mother. Of the 8 primary deities of True Buddha School, Jundi Buddha Mother belongs to the system of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. But Jundi Buddha Mother has tremendous power. So in the Dharmadhatu Mandala or Vajradhatu Mandala, Jundi Bodhisattva has her own court. So every Bodhisattva has their placements, and Jundi Buddha Mother has her special place that belongs to Jundi Buddha Mother. So how do I explain it? So in the mandala painting, there's her territory, her own place. There are many Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, but not each one of them has their own territory. And her Vajra name is the great or the most victorious Vajra. And before the Dharma teaching, I would like to start with a joke. The teacher asked Xiaoming, the teacher asked all the students, anyone can prove if they are a neat freak? And Xiaoming replied, I take a bath once every 6 months. And the teacher asked, why so long? And Xiaoming replied, because I think the water is dirty. So, I think when we were little, the winter time, such a cold weather like today, we are too lazy to take shower. This kind of weather. We would tell our moms, it's so cold today, so let's just wash our feet. Because we were lazy, so we didn't want to take a bath. Just wash our face and feet. But I remember Wang Luobing, the folk singer in Xinjiang called Wang Luobing. I met him in Singapore once and he took refuge in me. So I asked him, the Uyghur, I heard that they shower very rarely. So I asked him if they take a bath every day. And Wang Luobing replied, they bathe twice in their lives. The first one is when they were born, and the second one was when they get married. And then he added, actually just once, which is when they were born. And they don't even take a bath when they get married. Do you know? The Uyghurs from Xinjiang. If you know, please raise your hands. Well, you don't know because you're not Uyghur. So it's the custom there. Now we will do question and answer. I heard that composer singer Wang Luobing told me. Asked by Lianhua Li Hong from Malaysia. For those tantric or Taoist practices that cannot be found in your written or oral teachings, nor on the internet, nor DB Boye, which is True Buddha Prajna Wisdom Trove, such as secret formula to a deity practice, to a certain deity practice, that was supposed to be secretly transmitted to a Dharma propagator who has supposedly received Grandmaster's permission to transmit or teach it. Even with Grandmaster's handwritten memo or public announcement, some are real and some are fake. So, Grandmaster, other than choosing to believe or not, how can we discern? So just now we saw the DB Boye. So most of my tantric dharma that have been publicly transmitted are written in my books. Even those that have not been publicly transmitted should be available in the DB Boye. Only very few that are not there. There's some real, some are fake. There was an ordained monk. I did not ordain him, he ordained himself. And he copied Grandmaster's signature. He practiced every day. What was his name? The family name is Huang, like yellow, Huang. His name was Huang Jieling. He copied, he learned my signature. Of course, it's easy to copy someone's signature. So like Grandmaster's signature is like this, and you practice every day until you're familiar. So he made his own dragon robes, and then he signed it, and then he said, "This is Grandmaster's." So please don't buy dragon robes just from anybody. You should buy it directly from Grandmaster. Then that would be the real one. Dragon robes that have been worn by Grandmaster. If you get it from anywhere, sometimes the signatures is fake. I heard there was a disciple that all his statues, his dankas, his dragon robes, all have Grandmaster's signatures. And they were all signed by this person, Huang Jieling. And Grandmaster never gave him a handwritten memo. But he did write it himself, signed it himself, that he was Rinpoche. So that other than Tutan Siddhi, he claimed that he was a secretly appointed Rinpoche. So that did happen. But for this Dharma practices, you use your own wisdom to differentiate, to discern. Or you can write a letter to True Buddha Foundation to ask, and Grandmaster will answer you at the True Buddha Foundation. So, write a letter to True Buddha Foundation, and Grandmaster, whenever there are questions, every time I will give the answers at the True Buddha Foundation. I'm still here, so I can answer you directly, personally. But if one day I'm not here anymore, then it would be impossible for me to answer. Then you have to rely on your own wisdom to discern. If it is a good Dharma practice, then that would be good. But if it is a Dharma practice to scam some money, then that would be wrong. That would be wrong. So that's the answer. Now, Grandmaster is still here, so you write letters to Buddha Foundation and I will give you an answer. So that's how you discern. And one day, if Grandmaster is not here anymore, then you pray to Grandmaster to appear and give you an answer. We have fellow disciples from California today here. Please stand up. Was it your sister? Elder sister passed away. Who saw Grandmaster appearing and delivering? The elder sister, Grace. So Grace saw Grandmaster appearing and delivering Alice. Your name is also Alice. This Alice is a scientist. Your second sister is also Alice. And that Alice has gone to the Pure Land because Grandmaster delivered her. So it can be seen. So if you ask Grandmaster, is this Dharma practice a real one? And Grandmaster appeared and nodded his head and nods his head, then yes, it's a real one, then you can practice it. If Grandmaster shakes his head, then that would be a fake one. So Grace could also see Grandmaster guiding someone to the Pure Land. So Grandmaster can appear anytime. Many people can have the seeings or the sightings. And this person, that person, I appeared in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in China, any country. So how do we discern? Because Grandmaster is still alive, you write a letter to Buddha Foundation and I will give you an answer. The next question asked by Lian Hua from United States. First, homage to the living Buddha for your continual compassionate blessings and teachings. I am perplexed even after much thought about this question. After hesitating for a long time, I decided to ask Grandmaster to provide explanation to this stupid disciple of yours. Recently, when I am scared in the dream, I visualize Grandmaster sit on top of my head, holding the sword mudra toward a little girl in white who appeared from a burning fire and walked toward me while loudly chanting Om Ahom until she turned around. Then I woke up. I am really puzzled because normally I don't especially chant Om Ahom. So how come, for no reason, in urgency, I was able to do that? I also do not understand the real meaning of these three characters. Could you please provide detailed explanation on this wonderment, and when should we chant Om Ahom? Thank you, Grandmaster. She saw someone walking out from a burning fire, a little girl in white, and walking toward her, and she was scared in the dream. Once visualized Grandmaster sit on top of my head holding the sword mudra toward the little girl in white while loudly chanting Om Ahom. There are many explanations to Om Ahom, many of them. Basically, we chant this mantra, Om Ahom. That's the Guru Padmasambhava's mantra. So Om Ahom here, Guru Padmasambhava's mantra, Om meaning the most important consciousness in the universe, and appearing the Yidam, and Hom is perfection. So the most important meaning of Om Ahom. The consciousness of the universe is Om. Appearing as the Yidam is and Hom is complete and perfect. Om Ahom. That's the meaning here. And you said Om Ahom. The consciousness of the universe, there appeared Padma Kumara, and your wish will be completed. So here, the meaning of Om Ahom is that your wish is granted. And Grandmaster sit on top of the head, holding the sword mudra toward a little girl in white who appeared from a burning fire. So of course it means the consciousness of the universe appearing as Padma Kumara or Grandmaster and using the sword mudra pointed toward the little girl. And there's a kind of Dharma power appears and perfect and complete and home. And the little girl turned around and walked away. So, are you satisfied with this kind of answer? So just now I said Om is the consciousness of the universe. A is the appearance of the Yidam. And Hom is complete Dharma power. Complete or perfect Dharma power. And this is Lian Hua Ye San from Indonesia. Lian Hua Shi Ye San, a beloved Grandmaster Amitabha. I would like to ask a question that have been on my mind for a long time. I hope you explain and solve. If we help someone take refuge in Grandmaster, afterwards we found out that he or she does not respect Grandmaster, does not sincerely take refuge, even worse, even starts to slander Grandmaster everywhere and tells people not to follow Grandmaster. We, as the intermediary person who brought this person to take refuge in Grandmaster, have we also harmed Grandmaster and harmed him or her to create bad karma? Although it is that person who defamed Grandmaster, we never asked that person to do so, but because of this connection, do we also create bad karma? And we also suffer the consequences of harming Grandmaster. Because we didn't know what's on their minds, we did not know that they could change to harm the school. Nowadays, I don't dare bringing anyone to take refuge anymore. What should I do so I can have peace of mind in helping Grandmaster to guide people to take refuge in Grandmaster in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha? Please help solve this problem that has been bothering me for quite some time. I am very sorry that have brought people who now turn out to be harming Grandmaster and True Buddha School. I'm sorry, Grandmaster. Thank you. Lian Hua Yi San with palms folded. This is fine. No problem. Because your intent was good, but the result was bad. It's okay. It's no problem. All we see is your motive, your intent. Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all divinities also only look at your intent and motive. If your intent or motive is good, it brought some harms. But if your motive and your intention was good, it's okay. That's why Grandmasters once said that if 1 out of 10 disciples left and abandoned spiritual cultivation, it's okay. I still have 9. Because with 1 leaving, there are 10 people coming. And out of this 10, 1 of them leaves. And then there are another 10 coming. So, Lian Hua Ye San, so if there's 1 who left, then you should guide 10 more people onto the path. Then it's okay. You know, we cannot say that anyone taking refuge will never abandon the path. So that's why in our manner of dedication, good health, all calamities transform into auspiciousness, and also a strong spiritual commitment, and this is very important. It's very simple, living in this world, other than studying, career, getting married, bearing children. Anything else? Other than those, because every one of us, when we are born, then we start to study. After we graduate, we look for work. And after you work and earn a living, and some people, they start to date in school, some after they work, or after they have a career, they start having romantic love, and then they get married, and then they have children. And the children grow up, and they repeat your life. They start to study and to build their career and get married and bear grandchildren. And now you're old. Once you become grandpa or grandma, you're old already. And then what? You die. That's a human life is all about. It's all in circle. It's just cycling and cycling. Birth and death, birth and death. And many people have created bad karma, and they cannot be reborn as a human being. We know that we cannot bring anything with us, and even people would have forgotten you. Grandmaster remembers my grandfather is called Lu Chang, but my great-grandfather, I don't know. My grandpa is called Lu Chang, my father is Lu Sun, and my grandma called Lu Yu Tuan Xiang, and my mom was called Huang Yini. And how about your great-grandmother? I don't. I just remember 2 generations, parents and grandparents. So where's your ancestral tombs? I don't know. In China, in Quanzhou, Fujian province. My grandfather came from Fenyang town, Quanzhou, Fujian. That's all I knew. One day they will forget about you. After 3 generations, that's about it. So Buddhism teaches you to abandon the cycle, the rebirth cycle. Human beings will get old and die. Grandmaster has many treasures. What treasures? Diamonds, gold. I have them. Only loaned to you for a few decades. I don't wear any now. I have diamonds. My best diamond is 33 carats. Was offered by a disciple. Now it's in the safety deposit box. It's hard to even take a look at it. 33 carat diamond. You know who's worn something like that? Marilyn Monroe has worn 33 carat diamond, and Grandmaster too has worn 33 carat diamond. You can ask your cell phone, the internet, how much it is. And Grandmaster has gold bars, 1 kilo gold bars. Now 1 bar is between 40 to 50,000 US dollars. 1 kilo bar. It's heavy to move it. So if you take a 5 kilo things, it feels light, but for gold bars, it feels very heavy. You cannot move. I have several bars. They are expensive. But can I bring them with me? Leaving the world? No. It's difficult to even take a look at them. I buried them on the ground, under the ground, and you have to dig them out to take a look at them, to see them. That's impossible. They're not yours. So whoever that find it or dig it out would belong to them. And it doesn't belong to them either. Just for them to be in charge of for a few decades. Houses. I have several houses in Taiwan. In America, I don't buy just what I need to live in. So one is 10¾ and then the South Mountain Retreat, which is bigger, and the 10¾ is smaller. Grandmaster has cars too, offered by disciple. Rolls Royce, Maserati. It was translated in Taiwanese as the Poseidon, the ocean god. Half sports car, and Grandma's very satisfied with 2 cars. But all this are just loaned to you, and one day they will age and become broken, and you cannot bring them with you. Those are the best kinds of things. Money, yeah, I have money in the bank. One more zero, you would feel happy for a little bit. With 1 more zero, you feel happy. But can you use them? No. I eat at the Lijiang temple. What I wear is this Lama robe. Where I reside is the South Mountain Retreat. And when I drive is Rolls Royce. Can I bring them? When I leave? No. And the money, can I bring it? No. Because there's no use. I don't need to use money. All the money that I use now is only for gas.
Go to gas station, buy the gas.
That's about it. Money. I don't need money for anything else, so my money has no use. Let me tell you, only Buddha Dharma is useful. You should guide more people to take refuge. You cultivate yourself to put it into practice yourself, generate bodhicitta, widely deliver sentient beings, and guide them that only Buddha Dharma is useful now. What use is Buddha Dharma? To abandon the rebirth cycle, to go to the Buddha land, or to have attainments in the four sagely realms. Only that is useful. Everything else is useless. So, all the living must die. All gatherings will separate. Once you meet or gather, you would go separate ways. And existence become non-existence. Everything that you have collected a lot of things, and in the future they all will be gone. That's for sure. So my outfit is this Lama robe and the dragon robe. I cannot buy anything. And what I eat is those. This is all I wear. That's all I eat. And I live in the South Mountain retreat. And my transport is the car. And all I spend is for gas. That's it. I don't spend any other money. So my money is always there. It's always this thick. I never spend it. I never spend any money. That's all. See, human life, how much. So, even after writing it that many times, and so how many times, and so what? The elder generations are all gone. My relatives, they're all gone. Now, our generations are still here. The siblings, we are next. Our parents' generation are all gone. But you want to live with a radiant light, with bright light, with attainments. And the only thing that can allow that is Buddha Dharma. Therefore, we have to deliver sentient beings. Although some people breach their commitment to spiritual cultivation, that's their bad luck, because they only pass by with the Buddha. They only brush their shoulders with the Buddha and left. So they are unlucky. The most important thing is Buddha Dharma. You don't have to follow Grandmaster. You don't have to believe in Grandmaster. You only have to believe in Grandmaster's Buddha Dharma, not the person necessarily. Then you practice it. Then you learn from my strengths, not weaknesses. So you should just learn and see my strengths, not my weakness or shortcomings. This way, if you've learned the Buddha Dharma, then your attainments in the future will be incredible. So this Lien Hua Ye son from Indonesia should deliver more sentient beings, that every true Buddha school disciple should bring or guide other people to learn the authentic and true Buddha Dharma. Last Sunday, at the Rainbow Temple, when I was giving teachings on Lamdre, I mentioned about using which character to be placed at which part of the navel chakra, and then stack them together, and where which character, what color, and what kind of light, and their placements, locations, their functions, and their sensations. After I gone home, Golden Mother told me, don't talk too much about those. As long as your channel can tremble, as long as it can tremble, can vibrate, as long as your channels are open and the channels can vibrate, and your chakras can vibrate, and because of the vibration can open, that your brow chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra, navel chakra, secret chakra. If you can open your chakras, you can vibrate and open them. And if the channels can vibrate and the chakras can open, then these characters are not important. So Lamdre talked about it in great details, the colors of the characters, the placements and the functions, etc. But what she meant is that if the channels in your body can vibrate like Grandmaster, can shake like this, that all the channels in the body can shake and vibrate, and this is key, this is important. Golden Mother said, if your channels can vibrate, then you can open the 5 chakras or even the 7 chakras. So if you add the crown chakra and the base chakra, there would be 7 chakras. So that's what Golden Mother said. That's a method, the way to open the channels. But that's not as good as if you can shake or vibrate your chakras then they would open. So that's what Golden Mother said last week. Now this is on point number 6, the different characters of the 3 spiritual experiences. The Om character gives rise to the kind of appearances. It is not possible to give rise to the other 2 kinds. The A character gives rise to the kind of emptiness, and it is not possible to give rise to the other 2 kinds. The Hong character gives rise to dual execution, and it is not possible to give rise to the other 2 kinds. So, can you explain what the kind of appearances, the kind of emptiness, and dual execution? The different characters of the 3 spiritual experiences. This is in theory, but in reality it's also like this. These are mantra syllables. It's written there on the monitor. The Om character gives rise to the kind of appearances. It's not possible to give rise to the other 2 kinds. The A character gives rise to the kind of emptiness. It's not possible to give rise to the other 2 kinds. And the Hong character gives rise to dual execution. And it's not possible to give rise to the other 2 kinds. I don't know. Okay, if you don't know, sit down. Dansen Katsu, you don't know. Actually, this is very simple. It's the translator. The family name is Wang. And the name Pa. He intentionally make it so convoluted so that you don't understand. What is the kind of appearances, the kind of emptiness and dual execution? We know about Om Ahom. We just talked about it earlier. Om is the consciousness of the universe. Everything in the world were generated from Om. So the kind of appearances are real things. It represents that it was non-existent, and from Om they become existent. So Om is things that appear. So Om was the universe. And then there appeared like the sun or the 9 planets, the earth, the human beings, all living beings. They all generated from Om. So the kind of appearances is all the real things that appeared. You can just say the Om character gives rise to all kinds of existences. It is not possible to give rise to the other 2 kinds. And what are the other 2 kinds? They are emptiness and dual execution. So Om, the consciousness of the universe, there appear all things that exist. The second statement, from the A character, is the wisdom deity in the space, and we also call that Yidam. And Yidam can enter into emptiness. So the Yidam that appeared from the universe can return to the consciousness of the universe. So gives rise to the kind of emptiness. The Yidam, which is the wisdom deity, is the kind of emptiness. It's not possible to give rise to the other two kinds, which are the existence of the appearances and dual execution. The third statement, the home character, gives rise to dual execution, and not possible to give rise to the other two kinds. And what is the dual execution is between the existence and emptiness. Dual execution of existence and emptiness. There are many things that are in the scope of dual execution. So dual execution, so home is complete. The Buddha Dharma said, they are everything exists. Everything exists. So existentialism, and then Buddha Dharma also says about everything is empty. So that's nihilism. And then there's a part of Buddha Dharma that talks about dual execution. So both existence and nihilism together. So the Heart Sutra said that emptiness is form and form is emptiness. That's dual execution. So form symbolizes existence and emptiness symbolizes emptiness. So form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So the two of them unite, and that's dual execution. So this excerpt on the different characters of the three spiritual experiences. One has spiritual experiences, one has no spiritual experiences, and then one more, both spiritual experiences and no spiritual experiences dually executed. Now you know. There are many kinds of dual executions, like in our spiritual cultivation. When we talk about development stage and completion stage, they are dual execution. Tantric Dharma, now the Gelugpa of Tibetan Tantrayana is the Prasangika Madhyamaka. Nagarjuna taught Madhyamaka, and Chandrakirti Bodhisattva has the Madhyamakavatara treatise, which is the treatise to enter into Madhyamaka, which is one of the five great treatises. That's by Chandrakirti. And that's for Prasangika Madhyamaka. And Madhyamaka, as taught by Nagarjuna, is the dual execution of existence and emptiness. Lots of things are considered to be dually executed. Those are Buddhist theory, dual execution in terms of Buddhist theory, which is the Prasangika Madhyamaka. Madhyamaka is a dual execution of existentialism and emptiness. The Grandmaster just said that in the future, all of us will return to emptiness with nothing left. But now, at the present, you have to utilize the view of emptiness to resolve problems about afflictions and life. So afflictions actually are also empty. What is there to worry about? Why are you afflicted? Because in the future, everybody would be the same. There's nothing to be afflicted about or to worry about. What is it that you're worried about? Nothing. I've said it before, that the human being is in heavens and his money is in the bank. His wife is at somebody else's chest, and his siblings are fighting for your inheritance. The inheritance exists, the wife exists, and the brothers also exist. The bank too exists. But you, the human being, is in heaven, so that's empty. So that's the dual execution of both existence and nihilism or emptiness. So now, at the present moment, you use money to do Bodhi work. You don't regard it as your own. So like Sang Yen Lu Foundation is performing Bodhi work to help other people. We know that everything is empty, but it doesn't mean that you don't do anything completely. So you need to understand the concept of the dual execution of emptiness and existence. You still have to earn a living, you have to work. You cannot say afflictions is empty, house is empty, the car is empty, the money is empty, then you don't have to do anything, then you're just sitting there waiting to die. But that will not work. So now we are dually executing existence and emptiness, and that's called the middle way, or Madhyamaka. Now you understand? When you eat, do you like your partner to sit in front of you or next to you? And he replied, I personally like they sit around me. When Xiaoming got home, told his parents, in school, the teacher asked a question only I could answer. The parents felt proud and asked, what questions? And Xiaoming replied, the question was, who did not do homework? That's a pragmatic question. Someone went to a pet shop that sells bird and asked the seller, the bird is $80 and the cage is $1,000. It should be Taiwanese dollars. The cage 1,000 and the bird 80 Taiwanese dollars. And the buyer asked the seller, why is the cage much more expensive than the bird? And the seller replied, so isn't your house more expensive than you? This is kind of related to the dual execution. Inside the bird, inside the cage, if there is no bird, then it will not be called the bird cage. But if it is only a bird without a cage, that will not do either. So that is dual execution. Yesterday, medical students told me now they understand what is better death than living. Is that in the morgue there's air conditioning, but in our dorm room we have no air conditioning. So the dead is better than the living. Just have a laugh. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.